Hey, what's up, everyone? In this video, we are going to run through the new version of my listing that just dropped yesterday, August 14th, 2025, version 2.12. And this looks to be a big update. There's a lot of really cool things that are listed on this breakdown here that you see on my screen. Not just features, but some long awaited for bug fixes. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to show you my exact update process and some best practices, and then we're going to go through this entire list of features, bug fixes, etc. Completely unrehearsed. I've just briefly read through some of these, but again, we're just going to unrehearsed go through and see what all of this stuff means. If we can figure out what all of it means, hopefully we can. Sometimes when we record these videos, there's some things that aren't super clear, but let's figure out if that's not the case this time. All right. So what I typically do is I come over here to ThemeForest. Now you can install an Envato plugin that goes on your site that automatically detects when theme updates are released, and you can do it that way. I don't do it that way because I just don't want to have that one extra plugin on my site. That's just me. So what I do is I log into my ThemeForest account once I get notified that there is a theme update, and I just click this download button right here, and I choose installable WordPress file only. I bring that down to my computer, and that's going to look like this once it's on your computer right here. Okay. So all you need to do then, very simple. Go over to your MyListing website. Let's go to appearance and themes. While we're here, let's talk about child theme. You only need a child theme if you are planning to edit the theme files directly. So for example, if I was to go in and edit the MyListing parent theme files directly, and then later I was to apply an update like we are about to now, we would lose all of those changes. So you would need, if you're going to do that, you would need a child theme in that case, unless you're adding code to your site a different way, like with a plugin like WP Codebox, which is my recommendation. On all of my client sites, I install the child theme because there's no downsides to doing that, and it just further protects them from not overriding changes. Like they may, let's hypothetically say they hire a developer to make custom changes. Not every developer follows best practices or even knows that there's a MyListing child theme. So they just come in here and edit the MyListing parent theme files directly, which is a big no-no. And then the customer loses their changes. Okay. So I would just put the child theme in place. It's free to do so. Put that in place, activate it, and you're good to go. All right. So all we're going to do here is go add theme. You can click on this big button here or click on this button up here. Doesn't really matter. Click upload theme, and we're just going to browse to what we just downloaded from ThemeForest. Click install now. Choose replace installed with uploaded. And you're done. I just happen to, before I do these types of videos, I always log into the MyListing help desk and just see what people are talking about as far as these updates. And somebody just asked about like, what's the best practice for going through this update process? And my response was literally what I just did right there. So that's how I do it. That's how I recommend that you don't need that extra plugin. You saw how easy that was to do, right? Okay, so just that fast, we can verify. We have version 2.12. So we are ready to rock. So let me pull over our changelog. There we go. And let me just blow this up so it's easier to see. All right, that was a little too much. There we go. Okay, so the very first line item here is Explore page, added filter by rating stars. Okay, so let's go to our site. Let's go to pages. Let's go to our Explore page. And I just also, what I have here is just one of the MyListing demos installed. I do not recommend you use the MyListing demos in production. I'm still seeing people in the support desk filing support tickets about the MyListing demos. Don't use the MyListing demos. Like, use them in a test site to learn how the sites are built if you have to, but I recommend building from scratch. I just can't stress that enough. But I use them just for these demonstration purposes, okay? All right, so we need to go to the Explorer page. edit that with Elementor. And I'm assuming we're going to see some filter in here. We need to click on this area right here, basically to get at this 27 Explore Listings Elementor widget. That's what we got to get to. And we're looking for anything in here with stars. It's probably going to be easier if I just do a search. Let me do a Control F to search. There's our list for stars. So nothing in there. So let's go back here and read this again. Explore page, added filter by rating stars. Not seeing it. Just give me a second to read through this. Filter by rating stars. I am not seeing anything there. Let's go to the front end and just see if it's maybe, oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. I know what they're talking about. Okay, so we need to go to listing types. Let's go to this for sale listing type. And then we need to go to search forms, advanced search form. And is this what they're talking about right here? Let's go ahead and we'll just add that. So they're saying filter by rating stars, not order by. Okay. So I think we've got the right thing here. So we added that rating field right there. Let's see if that's what they're talking about. Update, refresh. Give me a second here. Let me make sure I've got the right listing types on this page. We've got for rent and for sale. Okay. That should be what's here. And it is for rent and for sale. And for sale has the stars. Okay, so let's switch this over to for sale. There we go. This is what they're talking about. So that is really, really cool. Super cool. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Add listing form. Add character counter for text area, and WP editor fields. Okay, so MyListing Club has a plugin that does this. Okay, so we are going to see if maybe this eliminates the need for the plugin that the club provides. So let's go ahead and check this out. Let's go back to our listing type, fields. Let's try, because we can do it on title. Let's go max length of, we'll just do, for fun, we'll do 10. Now we'll do something more realistic. Let's just do like 30 on all of these, 30 on the title, 30 on the tagline, 30 on the description field. And this is using the WP editor option, not just the text area. So we're going to see if that works. And they said it works on any text area, and WP editor fields. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this. Let's edit a listing on the front end. Here we go. All right. So here we are typing. And we see over here on the right-hand side, we see our counter. And then we have field value can't be longer than 30 characters. Okay, let's go ahead. Description is not working though, as you see here. So, oh, wait a minute. Is this? Let's go ahead and clear this out. Okay, there we go. So let's clear all these out. Okay, 30, 0 of 30, and 0 of 30. Okay, let's start typing. That works. Let's exceed our character amount. There we go. Okay, so it just stops you. So let's do this. Let's clear these out. Let's act like we're starting over. Let's save this listing. Okay, here we go. So, well, we don't need to go through all this. The moral of the story is it's working. So yeah, that eliminates the need for the club plugin. So I'm going to put it on my to-do list to remove that from the club site. No longer needed. So that's cool. Let's go over here. So let's go back. Let's not minimize that. If you are using the club's single listing character counter add-on for MyListing, you no longer need it. that is fixed in the core theme. So we are good to go there. Okay. File field, added upload count and size limits based on selected package. Okay, so if I go to my packages, products, let's go to our basic listing package. Is this saying that there is a media limit in here? Okay, not seeing anything there. So how do you control file field, added upload count and size limits based on selected package? Okay. Let's go to fields. Let's go to file upload. There we go. Let's just drop that on our listing here. Let's go edit it. And here we see allow multiple files. So we need to tick that little box there, and then you choose which file types you want to allow. Here we go. Enable package-based file limits. Boom. Here we go. We can add a rule, package-specific file limits. Add a file limit rule. So we could say such and such package has a maximum of 5 files they can upload, and then the size. We can add another rule. I'm not sure why the packages aren't coming through. Let's go back to our listing type. Let's go for sale. Let's go packages. There we go. So it looks like you need to manually add these in, which makes sense because that's what's also required with package visibility. If we just put basic, premium, and advanced in there, let's go ahead and update that. Now let's refresh our listing type fields. Let's go find that file upload field. Here we go, edit it. Again, you have to allow multiple files before this even kicks in. We do that, boom. This is now there to enable. We then add our rule. So here we can choose the basic plan gets 1 file or 0 files. Say 1 file, and then it's a max size of 100 kilobytes. Okay, we can add another rule that says the premium plan gets 5 images, and those are the same size. I typically do file sizes globally, so I wouldn't be set on my sites and my starter sites. I wouldn't be setting a value here. I do that with with custom code. It's just harder to manage and remember what you set here. But that being said, if you think that you want to try and monetize based off of not only how many images are allowed, but also you're giving people the chance to upload bigger file sizes, I probably wouldn't do that personally. Yes, the number of files, but not the max file size, because you think about your server and it has storage limits, and storage comes at a cost and things like that. So I always say with the image governance and optimization, we want to keep those file sizes really low. And once you start getting into allowing one package to have a file size, another one to have another file size, it's going to confuse your customers too. They're not going to know what the heck you're talking about. So it's pretty clear when you say you can upload 1 image versus 5 image versus say 10. Let's go ahead and do that. So we'll say the advanced package gets 10. That's clear to understand for a customer. This is not clear if you were to do individual file sizes for each of these. Okay, so that is a very cool feature. Let's go ahead and move on. General repeater field added selection limits based on the selected package. So I think we're going to see something very similar here. Let's go find the general repeater field, add that to our site, edit it. Here we go. Enable package-based selection limits, turn that on. Then you can set your rules. Basic gets, like I use these for menu items, so I can show you an example of that. So I come over here and let's say we are a restaurant and we have a menu for our restaurant. You have these items right here. So what you could do is over here, you could say basic plan only gets to add 3 menu items. Premium listings get 6 menu items. advanced, get 12 menu items, and then they can build that out here. Or if you have yeah, I guess it's just menu, but there's other applications besides just menu items that the general repeater field can be used for. I've used it for all sorts of things. Special offers, I've used it for all kinds of options there. Okay, that's another really cool feature. Another one is added drag and drop reorder option. Okay, that is really, really cool too. So let's just go ahead and update this. Let's refresh our listing here. So if you come down through here and you want to add something with the general repeater, so right here, actually, general repeater, we add our item. Let's say item 1. Let's say we add another item. We won't call it item 1. We'll just call it t-shirt, and we'll call this one shorts. Now they're saying that you can drag and drop the order. Okay, so you just hover over this little up and down arrow, and then that allows you to drag it. Super, super cool. Before, it was just in the order that the listing owner or you, the website owner, created them in, and you had no ability to adjust them. Okay, and then right here, it looks like we may have a new option. Yep, there it is. Added the duplicate button. So that is really cool. That's something I've really needed myself for a project that I have. So click this duplicate button. Boom, you're done. Super, super cool. All right, moving on. Term select field, added term limits based on selected. Oh, this is a huge one. I have clients all the time asking me about this. So like, let's say you have a category. Here you can now set a limit. Toggle this on, same principle, basic package, you get to choose 10 categories. Premium plan, you get to choose 20 categories. Advanced, well, maybe you leave this open and say unlimited categories. So that is one of the most asked about features that I can recall in a long time. So very, very cool. Term checklist field, added term limits based. Okay. I don't think we need to go through that. Same concept. If you use the term checklist field, same concept. Related listing field, added selection limits. Okay. Let's definitely look at this. This is a little bit, no, actually, it's the same. It's the same. Related listing field. It's the same thing, but we'll look at this one because this is one I use a lot. So let's do a search for related listing. Okay, we drop that on our page, edit it. And where is our... Well, I'm glad I looked at this because it doesn't appear to be working. I see package visibility. Okay, let's go back. Related listing field, added selection limits based on select. Okay, so I think we found potentially a bug here. Let's go ahead and just refresh this page. Actually, let's do this. Let's add a brand new listing type. Let's go to fields. Let's add related listing. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I think we found our first bug here. Okay, that does not appear to be working. So let's go ahead and move on. Basic search form, multi-select drop-down filters are now supported. Another one of the most asked for fixes in years, in my opinion. So let's go. They said basic search form, right? Yep. So here we go. We're in the listing type. We've got our search form, our bait, and then we go to the basic search form tab. And then you build this out. Let's just put in a drop down here. Let's try to pull in our... Actually, let's go over to an existing listing type. We're going to edit the for sale listing type. Go to fields. Let's find that category field. Here we go. That is a... Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's go over to search forms, basic form. Here we go. So all categories, this is a drop down. Enable multi-select. Yep. Okay, cool. So before, this was a major hindrance. Enable multi-select. Let's look at it, the issue right now. So let's go to the home page before we apply the fix. So let's say that someone wanted to choose multiple categories for their search. They would come over here. Let's go for sale. Let's make sure I've got some categories in here. So let's go listings, for sale. Let's add a couple of listings or of categories to these. Do we have categories? We should. There we go. Let's do test category 1. We'll do test category 2. And we'll do one more, test category 3. We're going to edit a listing. We're going to add a category. Where is our category? Where is our category? All right, let's go back to our listings. Let's edit this one, and let's figure out how to add a category to this sucker. So is there no category field? There we go. All right, so let's add all of those. Update. Back to our home page, refresh this so we can see the basic search form updates. There we go. So before, when you would come here, you could only choose one category, whether it was 1, 2, or 3 in this case. That's it. You're stuck. So let's go turn this feature on. So we're going to go back to our listing type, back to our basic search form, back to our dropdown, and we're going to turn on multi-select. Okay. Update. Update. Now I want to choose category 2 and category 3. Oh, sorry, we're on there, a different listing type, for sale. There we go. 2, 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Search. Super, super cool. Category 2, category 3. Nope, wrong listing type. Here we go. Category 1. And then we're going to choose category 3. Very cool. All right. Well done, guys. Well done, developers. Okay, next up is permalinks. Added option to change permalink base for custom taxonomies. For this one, we're going to go under settings, permalinks, and I'm not sure if it would be in here. Let's go under listings, taxonomies. We're going to add a custom taxonomy. Ryan's custom tax. Save that. Let's go back to settings and permalinks and see if it's listed here. Here we go. Here's my custom taxonomy. And here you can set that custom taxonomy permalink. Super cool. All right, let's move on. Claim listing. Feature now available even when paid listings are disabled. Okay, so before, when someone wanted to go and claim a listing, we'll just go here. Say they come over here and they want it. Let's say was there a claim listing on here? No. Let's say this call now button was a claim listing button. They would click on that. They would try to go through the claim listing process. It wasn't possible unless you had paid listing options enabled. So if you go to the listing type, packages, and let's say you had this disabled because your site, or this particular listing type doesn't have paid listing packages. You're just allowing people to list for free, but still you want to allow them to easily claim it. So now you can, regardless of whether this is turned on or this is turned off. Also very cool. Moving on is a tweak. Switch package flow is now similar to the add listing flow. Users can review and edit listing info before applying the new package. So for that, I don't have that going on this demo site. So we're going to go over to one of my starter sites. And let's say, you know what? I'm not logged in here. Let me get logged in. I think it's worth showing you guys. So just bear with me 1 second. Just getting logged in over on my other screen. Just in case you don't know what subscription switching is. So let's go to the front end of our site. Let's go to our listings. And let's say here we want to switch our plan. Click switch plan. There we go. This is all of our pricing options. So they are now saying tweak. Switch package flow is now similar to the add listing flow. Users can review and edit listing info before applying the new package. So what that seems like, let me make sure I don't have this going over here. I don't. What that sounds like without running through it is, let's say that you're under the free package and that's got certain features, right? If you're not familiar with package visibility, you can limit fields based on what you purchase. So let's say you come in under free and that didn't give you a certain field, but now you want to upgrade to the highest package. You can click use this package to switch. It's not going to allow me to switch because this is one of my demo sites and I already own all of these packages. But imagine when you want to switch from the free plan to like the highest paid plan, that's going to unlock some fields. And I think what they're saying here is that when you select a particular package, it's going to tell you what you're now capable of doing before you choose to make that payment. So let's say you come over here and you're like, okay, I want to switch from free to maybe the $5 plan, the next plan up, but you see, oh, that doesn't quite give me what I want to see. And then you try, maybe you go to the $10 package and you're like, oh, same thing. That doesn't really get me what I want. So then you're like, okay, I need to go to the highest package. Or you even try the highest package and you realize this isn't meeting my needs at all. So then maybe they reach out to you, the website owner, and you help them see if you can accommodate what they're looking for. So rather than them just blindly clicking a package up, switching their subscription and hoping for the best, it kind of gives them some more information. Okay, WP all import. Added a checkbox to skip searching for existing files in the media library, useful for files with duplicate names. Okay, we're not going to look at that in this video, but just know that we'll call it a fix feature is in there. Called a feature. Okay, then we've got a list of bug fixes here. Input validation messages not showing in the add claim listings form. Okay, so if you go and there's a field for whatever reason that you're not putting valid input in, it looks like MyListing is now helping you understand that better now. So if we go here and edit a listing, we see this is a unique message here. I don't know. This also has to do with their new feature of character counting. But if I just go down here and try to like save changes, we see these errors, these messages right here. Sometimes these would work. Sometimes they wouldn't. Sometimes they would work, but not be the best. But it looks like this has now been addressed. And I just showed you the add listing form, but the claim listing form is very similar. It's going to look just like this when they go through the claim listing process. I think what they're also talking about is the claim listing form itself, though, is we go to listing types and we go to the claim form. So I think this is what they're also referring to. It's like, let's say they go to fill out this claim listing field form and something's missing. So I think that's what they're referring to. Okay. This is another major one. Major one. Visits, prevent duplicate visits. The stats. So theme tools, listing stats, the stats that are all in here. This was the numbers they weren't accurate. So if you go under your account and you go to my account and you get into the stats, and they're talking about visits, prevent duplicate visits. So if we're looking at these stats for the visits, the views, the visits right here. Here we go. I'm sorry about that. The visits. These numbers weren't accurate when you compared them to other analytics platforms. So hopefully this goes a long way towards addressing that. That's huge if it does. Okay, next one is header background color not working with transparent colors. Now, I've personally witnessed this a number of times, and I've had to use CSS to get around this. So let me read this again. Header background color not working with transparent colors. Yes, that's something. Okay, that is something I actually filed a help desk ticket on that not that long ago. So if you go to theme tools, theme options, header, And before, if you went in here to do a header background color, you no longer had the ability to do transparency. So now you can. Okay, so whatever color you choose, you can do transparency. Let's check out the border. Yep, the border still isn't fixed, but the background is. So if you're watching this, my listing developers probably aren't going to watch this video, but if you guys see this and you want to report this to them, or maybe I will, the border color also needs this. Basically anything in here needs this, that you can apply colors. But here we see it works here on the on scroll background color, but the border doesn't work. Here they kind of have one in here. So let's see if that'll take. Actually, I take that back. It looks like the border still accepts transparent colors. I take that back. They just don't have the slider that's over here. So you can put RGB A values in here, as you see here. So let me see if I can put that in up here as well. Nope, so you can't do it. So the header border color doesn't accept it. Let's try it down here. Let's go red, and then let's try to set this. Yeah, see, that's the issue, is that they had before with the background color. It was in there, but it wasn't working. So in my opinion, and it may come in a future release, is that they allow us to do this with the border as well. Moving on, reCAPTCHA. Right off the bat, do not use reCAPTCHA for privacy reasons, performance reasons. It's a pain in the ass for your users to use reCAPTCHA. It's a pain in the ass to manage reCAPTCHA in all the places it can possibly exist. I've said this a million times. This should not be should not use this. Use simple Cloudflare turnstile. Use the free version of Cloudflare for performance and security. Put that in front of your site. Okay, it's going to help with security and performance. Once you do that, you can use a free plugin called Simple Cloudflare Turnstile. I use it on every single on one of my websites, not just my listing websites, every website I possibly manage. Install that plugin, connect it to your Cloudflare account, and you are done. It protects all of your forms. Do not use reCAPTCHA. I'm not even going to go into this any further and say anything good about it. Just don't use it. This line item shouldn't even exist, in my opinion. Moving on, blog posts incorrectly showing in the related listings section on preview cards. Okay, I don't think I've ever experienced that, but let's say you have a listing type and you have a related, let's go to single page content and tabs. Let's say you've got a related listings field here. They are saying that, let's go to one of our listings. They're saying that sometimes on the related listing tab, let's see, all right, let's look at this. Let's look at my site. Let's go to Explore. Let's go to Experts. Let's go to related listings here. So they're saying that sometimes what is it again? A blog post would incorrectly show in the related listings section on preview cards. I don't even know how that's possible, because if you go to a listing type, let's go to, doesn't matter what we go to, but let's go to hike in this case, single page, content and tabs, related listings. You're just relating it to a field, and let's go to that field, related listings field. Unless you choose WP posts here, then I don't see how that's even possible, but apparently it is. Never seen that before. Okay, next up is quick view not displaying the correct default marker. So if you have a listing that deals with location and you have a map marker, which we see here, let me drill into this. We'll go to quick view and map marker. Here we go. So this is the map marker we see right here. I've just got placeholder images in place, so you don't see like a pretty logo or anything. But they're saying that they fixed an issue where that wasn't correctly displaying. Quick view not displaying the correct default marker. Oh, okay, the default marker. That's right. Okay, so in your listing type, over here we have on the right-hand sidebar, we've got the ability to set a default map marker. So they're saying that didn't appear correctly. And now it does. Last up, and I'll get you guys out of here. Very good update. I'm just very excited about this one. Hide booking tab on listing page if empty. Okay. That would be single page content and tabs if you use this bookings option here. I have never used that. I do bookings different ways, so I'm just going to have to take their word for that. I've never seen a client use this either. Let's go ahead and look at that. Okay, so you can do a basic form, like a contact form here, or a time kit. Yeah, I've never used that, so maybe I'll look into that a bit further. Could be interesting. All right, guys, but the fix there. Let's go to the fix. Hide booking tab on listing page if it's empty. So let's go back over here. Single page, content and tabs. We added that booking, and now, so you don't have the ability, as you do with related listings, to hide tab if there are no listings, as you see here. But I guess they're just saying it's just going to default to that, so we don't have to set that automatically. Hide booking tab on listing page if empty. All right, guys, that is it. This is probably the most exciting update to my listing I have seen in years. So yeah, very excited about this one. Hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you have any issues in the comments. Thank you.